Hello, my name is Karen Blake and I'm an Indiana State University nursing student. Today I'm going to talk to you about a population at risk, and that is pregnant adolescents. The learning objectives for this presentation are: students will be able to state how often teen pregnancies occur. Students will be able to explain why prevention is important. Students will be able to describe the differences in risks between teens and adult pregnancies. Students will be able to explain how to prevent adolescent pregnancies. Students will be able to list the options available to teens who are pregnant. Students will be able to explain how a pregnant teen can obtain a safe abortion without parental consent. And students will be able to describe different types of adoptions. Please take a moment to take the pretest in the link below. Since 1991, the rate of teens giving birth has actually been on the steady decline, which is great news. However, the U.S. still continues to have a higher rate of pregnancies than other Western and industrialized nations. 3 out of 10 teenage girls currently in the U.S. will become pregnant before they turn 20. There also continues to be disparities in teen birth rates. American Indian and Alaskan teens remain those with the highest birth rates. Black and Hispanic teens' birth rates are twice as high as those that are white or non-Hispanic. There are many reasons for preventing pregnancies at an early age. Approximately 90% of adolescent women who do not get pregnant will graduate from high school, as opposed to only 50% of those who become pregnant and give birth. Children who are born to adolescent mothers are also more likely to not do well in school, to drop out of school, to have health problems themselves, to go to jail in their youth, and to become adolescent mothers and be unemployed as young adults. Unfortunately, there are higher risks associated with being pregnant as an adolescent. Pregnant teens are less likely to get good prenatal care and make sure they are doing all of the things necessary to ensure a healthy pregnancy for both themselves and the baby. They are more likely to develop preeclampsia, which is a dangerous condition that presents with very high blood pressure and protein in the urine. It can develop into something worse, which can impair liver function, kidney function, swelling, which causes shortness of breath. It's a very dangerous situation for both the pregnant mother and the baby. They are also more likely to deliver an early and low weight infant, and they are at a high risk for developing postpartum depression as well. So how do we prevent adolescent pregnancies? The most important way is to have discussions with teens. Healthcare providers should make it a priority to discuss reproductive health. Teens should be encouraged to delay sexual activity as much as possible and to be provided information about sexually transmitted diseases. Healthcare providers will also need to discuss methods of preventing pregnancies as well as sexually transmitted diseases so that teens have all of the information and can make informed decisions. Healthcare providers should also speak with parents and help guide them with how to talk to their children about sex and pregnancies. And having school-based clinics for students to go to have important conversations about abstinence, birth control, protection, and pregnancy is another really good way to prevent pregnancies. There are several options that teens who become pregnant can consider. They could carry the baby to full term and keep the baby. They could carry the baby to full term and give the baby up for adoption. They can make the decision to have an abortion. They can stay pregnant for a while and think about it before making a final decision. All of these options should be discussed with an adult that the teen can trust. It is not an easy decision to choose an abortion, and pregnant teens need to understand what they are and how to obtain one safely if that is what they decide. If teens do not feel like they can talk with their parents or they want to obtain an abortion without parental consent, they can go to a judge who will hear their case, and if they agree, Give them paperwork that allows them to legally obtain an abortion without parental consent. Teens who are considering abortion should make the decision as early in the pregnancy as possible. Very early abortions can be done by taking medication at home. Surgical abortions will become necessary as the pregnancy progresses. Many places will not perform abortions after 24 weeks unless there is a pressing reason, such as danger to the mother or a chromosomal abnormality in the fetus. Making the decision to give your baby up for adoption is a difficult one, no matter what your age is. However, there will be teens who don't think abortion is a good decision for them. They may feel torn, but they also don't want to keep the baby. There are many people who would like to adopt a baby, and the waiting list is very long for them. There are 3 different kinds of adoptions: open, semi-open, and closed. The open kind of adoption allows for open communication between the birth mother and the adoptive parents. They can decide on what this communication looks like and what is best for the child and what is reasonable for all of them. A semi-open adoption is where the birth mother and the adoptive parents will share communication, but it will go through the adoption agency without giving any identifying information about one another. And the last type of adoption is a closed adoption, and this is where there is no information sharing between either the birth mother or birth parents and the adoptive parents. If you are a pregnant teen watching this presentation, remember that whatever you decide, you will have support. There is no one right kind of family. There are families with one parent, families with 2 dads, families with 2 moms, families where kids live with their grandparents. If you're a teen who is pregnant and making a decision about whether or not to have your baby and whether or not to give your baby up for adoption, just remember you are making the decision for your life. Your healthcare providers and counselors are there to support you and keep your discussions confidential. Becoming a pregnant teen does not mean your life is over. It just means you have decisions to make, and you may have to work harder to get through barriers, but you can do this. Please see the link below for more resources to help you. There are so many resources available out there to help you get through this time.